What's up, guys? Today we'll be going over the new Dungeon GL, the Energy Slot 1, the Verse Velocity Baton, and this thing is an Aerial Denial Frame Void GL. In this video, we've been breaking down the role you want to get on this weapon, along with the quickest way to farm the dungeon weapons now that the ball dupe has been patched. So starting off with that, if you're familiar with farming encounters in Destiny 2, one person will hold the CP. I'm holding it on my Warlock. I drop in my teammates. Once we start flying in, I can go in and swap characters to the character I actually want to farm the encounter on. And you do this with 2 people, 3 people, even solo. Solo, you're gonna have to replay to the CP every time, I believe, or there might be oob, I'm not sure. But with a fire team, when you rejoin, you and one other teammate, or by yourself if you're doing it 2-man, will go and finish one of the rooms. We choose the front right one when you spawn in because it is the fastest. You're gonna get 1 ball and just slot it in to complete one of the 3 parts of the encounter. And if you weren't looking to do the fastest farm, you could just complete the encounter like normal with all 3 people. But the fastest way is one of your teammates, or you, depending on who you are, will go out of bounds to the in-between next encounter of the dungeon and slam 2 of the balls in that section. And the way this works is because you're still technically in this encounter, those 2 ball slams will count for this encounter and complete all 3 ball slams, and you'll get your loot. You can also have the out of bounds player slam all 3 and completely complete the encounter by themselves. The fastest way is just for the regular players to do 1 to make it a little bit faster. And on screen right now, you see the route. Go ahead and pause it, rewatch it until you learn the route. It's pretty fast, pretty simple. And once out of bounds, you just gotta do 2 of the slams and the encounter will complete. And if you do everything correctly, compared to duping the ball, this one takes maybe like 10 seconds longer on average. So it's really not that much slower post the nerf. Still very quick. Best way to farm the dungeon loot by far. This encounter drops both of the GLs, so the special one and the heavy one, along with the fusion rifle and 3 armor pieces. Now, it is kind of brutal in terms of drop rates on the heavy GL. It feels like it's definitely the lowest drop rate of the 6 items, and the perk pool seems pretty scuffed. But, you know, we're not talking about that one today. We're just talking about the energy GL. I'm gonna let the rest of this clip play out if you need to learn how to do the out of bounds, and I'll be back at roughly 3.5 minutes into the video for the Baton review. So now looking at the Velocity Baton, the Void Aerial Denial Frame GL, this thing has one very good roll on it and 2 or 3 secondary rolls you might want to keep along the way. So jumping into the left column perks on this weapon, the best perk will be by far Demolitionist. Great utility perk. You'll get 10% of your grenade back on final blows and avoid reloading by activating your grenade ability. And outside of that, you could go for Repulsor Brace. There's gonna be a cool combo on the right for that perk. Void Overshields just got buffed quite a bit, so definitely a great perk if you're taking advantage of volatile rounds or weakening or something like that. You could also try Unrelenting to get health back on final blows. Not too bad, not too great. I would rather just go Repulsor. I think it's be more effective HP that way. And finally, one last perk that could be good if it did work on area denial frames is Reverberation to increase the radius of the pools, but it does not work. If it does work in the future, that could be a decent perk. Overall, since there's no auto loading or things like that, the go-to in the left will just be Demolitionist. So what can we pair that with in the right? Well, I think one perk that will be very underrated that most people might not even consider would be Adagio. Adagio is going to be a 30% damage increase for 7 seconds on final blow, which is going to be one of the highest damage buffs in the game and definitely the highest on this weapon, tied with Bait and Switch. But this only requires a final blow, not hitting hits with all 3 weapons. But the main drawback of Adagio normally is the slower rate of fire, And even though this is a one-shot weapon, you do actually feel the effects of that slower rate of fire. The individual shots of the burst take longer to shoot, so the burst actually is longer. And while that might sound like a bad thing, I would say it's almost a positive because it gives you more time to actually aim the weapon and spread out the pools more accurately with this perk. So not only that, it's also a 30% damage increase, so honestly, a pretty good perk to pair with Demolitionist for just a all-out, I'm using this weapon as my main act clear source. Another perk you could try is Destabilizing Rounds, pairing that with Repulsor Brace to spread Volatile. The Volatile Final Blows will give you the Overshield. Definitely a perk combination I would keep if I got it along the way, farming for what I think is the best role of Demo plus Attrition Orbs. Attrition Orbs is rapid hits with this weapon will create orbs. With Enhanced, the orbs will give you 1.1% of your super energy, and in theory, every single time you shoot this weapon, you can create up to 3 orbs per shot, whether that is all doing damage to a single target, or spreading it out and damaging multiple targets at once. I think the cap is 3 orbs per shot, but you can also shoot multiple shots at a time and constantly overlap them, and just be printing orbs with this weapon, with this roll. You can also throw on a Void Siphon to create a 4th, potentially 5th orb per shot with this GL, just due to how long the pools last, and definitely take advantage of all the orb mods on your armor, innovations, absolutions. Then I also like to run a Powerful Attraction to suck up all those orbs when I use my class ability. And overall, this GL is very strong this season because of Concussive Reload to spread the weaken to a lot of targets at once with this GL, works really well in the dungeon. Then we also have Rapid Impacts to help with the reload speed, and GLs are also overload this season. So overall, the role I want and most people want is this one be Demolitionist plus Attrition Orbs. Definitely the most unique role on the weapon and overall the best. But then I think 2 or 3 secondary roles I would keep along the way trying to farm for that role, or while you're farming for the heavy GL, would be Destabilizing plus Repulsor or Demo. Both I think would be very good. And finally, I would potentially keep a Demo plus Adagio role. Anyways, let me know if you're a fan of these Area Denial Frame GLs. I think it's kind of hit or miss if you love them or not. I'm kind of in the middle right now. I'm not sure. I haven't used them enough to really have my own full opinion. I do really like the orb generation with Attrition Orbs, and I'm looking forward to using that more in builds to not only build up my super faster, but take advantage of all the orb mods on my leg pieces. Adding in Demo on the left, it could be a really good pick for builds this season with all the artifact mods. Yeah, let me know which role you want down below. Like usual, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.